And now, your forecast first from the CBS 17 Storm Team.
Well, our stormy night is starting to wind down, and I think we're all eagerly anticipating lower humidity tomorrow. Good evening, I'm Wes Soenstein. We still have a few showers and thunderstorms on the radar tonight, a few of them up in Mecklenburg County, Virginia, a few across the border, both in Warren County, also over near Roanoke Rapids and Halifax. These not severe, not expected to be, and they will fizzle out in the next hour or so. And here's what your Thursday looks like. Actually, a little bit cooler, mid-60s to start your Thursday morning ride to work and school. And by lunchtime, we'll be dry. A lot more sunshine with temperatures near 80. Don't get too used to this word dry because it's going to go away as we head to the holiday weekend. I'll update you on those rain chances a little later.
Now, local news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
Scary moments in a Wake County park as a man makes hostile comments to a baby and his father. Good evening. I'm Russ Bowen.
And I'm Angela Taylor. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, the child's mom is sounding the alarm so other parents are aware. It happened at Bond Park in Cary over the weekend. CBS 17's Colleen Quigley is at the Cary Police Department with more on what that parent says happened and her warning for others. Colleen.
Yeah, well, Angela and Russ, we actually spoke with that mom. She says this man's comments were so disturbing, so unsettling and concerning. That's why she wanted to let other parents know what happened. Now, we know Cary police are looking into this, but we want to warn people you might find these remarks, especially parents will find these remarks disturbing.
Bond Park. It's a popular place for families on a warm spring day.
We just wanted to have a good family time with my daughters.
But on Sunday, a peaceful morning walk turned into anything but. This Cary mom shared her story on Facebook. She asked we not reveal her name, but says her husband was taking their one-year-old on a walk when he noticed a man she says gave him a strange feeling. She said that man started to hold his arms out as to grab something and approached her husband and baby to ask, what would you do if I ripped your baby's head off?
That's very disturbing, actually.
It is kind of scary, you know, to think about a guy saying that.
She says her husband called police who said they'd received similar reports. In the park Wednesday, parents agreed they were keeping an extra close eye on their children and any unwelcome strangers.
Normally, you just let your kid play in the park, right? I mean, you keep an eye, but you still want them to enjoy.
Mama for Gabriella says her family comes to this park often, so she was horrified when she saw the post on Facebook.
I would have been terrified if that would happen to me. I wouldn't know how to react to that, honestly. That is shocking. It is shocking.
Well, Cary police say they do have a description of this man, but it is very, very vague. So they're going to be out there. They said they've stepped up patrols in that park, and they're going to be continuing to do so. However, they ask if you are in that park and you see someone suspicious, do not hesitate to give them a call. Reporting live in Cary, Colleen Quigley, CBS 17 News.
Colleen, thanks for that. Incredibly disturbing. Well, it was arguably one of the most anticipated retail projects in years for Wake County, IKEA, coming to Cary Town Center. But in a surprise announcement today, we learned that is no longer happening. CBS 17's Amy Cutler joins us live. And Amy, you have reported on all this excitement over the years. A lot of people really caught off guard today.
Yeah, they certainly were, Russ. I attended several of these town meetings. They were packed. People there to show their support for this project. The town made several concessions. Still, it was not enough for IKEA. Once a small town, Cary is booming. Downtown is full of restaurants and shops. One big exception to that development and growth has been Cary Town Center.
That's kind of a dead area.
They lost Sears and they lost Macy's.
IKEA, the world's largest furniture retailer, was supposed to change that. The town worked with a Swedish company, allowing for a metal facade. The building would have been taller, the flagpoles higher than what's typically approved. In exchange, IKEA said it would create 300 new jobs and 500 construction jobs.
I thought it would have been really good for our community to get something that big here.
Late this afternoon, we learned IKEA wouldn't be coming to Cary after all. In a statement, Cary said they are moving away from suburban big box retail outlets and into global city centers. We are obviously disappointed. The town manager said not even an incentive would make a difference. IKEA told him Cary was just too suburban for IKEA's new direction.
I was hoping that it would revive the Cary Town Center because I know a lot of the stores have been closing.
CBS CBL Properties, which owns the mall, said in part, given their decision, we will work with other prospects and develop new plans that incorporate a mix of uses, such as entertainment, retail, restaurants, apartments, and offices. Now, the town manager says that this presents an opportunity. The town and CBL Properties both declined my request for interviews. Live in Cary, Amy Cutler, CBS 17 News.
Hopefully something better comes along. Amy, thank you. A Raleigh police officer was involved in a car accident tonight. It happened at the intersection of New Hope and Lewisburg Roads just after 7:30. Our cameras were there as the SUV was towed away. We're told another driver T-boned the car. No injuries and no word on any charges at this point. The Wake County school system has a new superintendent.
Yeah, and she's no stranger to local educators. Kathy Moore spent her entire career working her way up in the state's largest school district. And CBS 17's Michael Hyland was at today's big announcement. He's live at Fuller Elementary in Raleigh. And Michael, she'll face a lot of challenges, though, when it comes to funding.
Absolutely a lot happening at one time. She's going to spend part of her first full day on the job here at Fuller Elementary tomorrow. And tonight I talked to her about the history she's making here in Wake County and what lies ahead.
Thank you.
After 30 years in Wake County schools, Kathy Moore will take charge as superintendent. During an emotional ceremony, she thanked her family.
Después de hoy día, nos vemos mucho. La quiero mucho, mami. Gracias.
The school board considered 20 people from 10 states, ultimately choosing someone from within.
She showed her commitment to the district, her dedication to putting students first.
She becomes the first woman and first person of Hispanic heritage to lead the state's largest school system.
Leadership is leadership. But I think the opportunity and the recognition that you're the first of anything is important. It's a responsibility.
She takes that responsibility at a time of many changes. As new schools open, kids get shuffled around every year, often frustrating families.
I think what we need to look at is how we communicate and involve the community as we're building new schools.
That happens while factoring in safety. We got a reminder of that with yet another school shooting last week.
I think relationships are key first. That being said, we also live in a time where we have to take specific measures around monitoring who's entering a building, using cameras in a building.
She'll start just as the school system tries to get more funding from county commissioners for next year's budget.
So I think there's a lot of work in front of us.
Work she says she's prepared for the last 30 years to take on. And I got a copy of the contract she signed as well. It's for 3 years, and she'll be making $274,000 a year. She starts tomorrow. Live in Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.
I know a lot of her students have spoken out about how much they love her, too. Well, as Michael mentioned, Kathy Moore has a lengthy resume right here in Wake County Schools, most recently serving in a deputy superintendent role. Prior to coming to central office in 2008, she worked as a principal at Sanderson High School. She came to Wake County as a teacher at Enloe in 1988, and she started her career as a high school French teacher in Nash Rocky Mount schools. Well, so far, prosecutors will seek the death penalty against 3 of the 4 men accused of killing 2 elderly couples in Halifax County. Investigators say the Whitleys and the Harrises were playing cards around the table when they were shot and killed last August. The sheriff says the suspects targeted the home and the shooting was gang-related. Prosecutors later charged 4 men in their murders.
We can't prejudge. We cannot say whether they're guilty or not. That's up to our court systems to do.
And we are still waiting on a decision for a trial date.
Breaking tonight, the U.S. Coast Guard suspended the search for a missing Greensboro man who went overboard a Carnival cruise ship off the Florida coast. 50-year-old Brian Lamons was reported missing on Tuesday morning. Also breaking tonight, newly released body cam video shows a Milwaukee police officer confronting NBA rookie Sterling Brown back in January over a parking violation. Tonight, the police chief apologized for that encounter.
Members acted inappropriately, and those members were recently disciplined. Criminal charges against Mr. Brown were not pursued.
Brown actually played in an NBA game later that night with visible bruises to his face. He's asking the community for peaceful support and says he plans to take legal action against the department.
The search is over for the 22-year-old wanted for causing a crash that killed a state trooper Monday night. Investigators say they took Dakota Witt into custody early this morning. Trooper Samuel Bullard died after slamming into a bridge on I-77 while chasing Witt. North Carolina basketball legend Phil Ford is doing well after undergoing surgery for prostate cancer. The point guard and former assistant had the surgery at UNC hospitals on Tuesday. Officials say he was diagnosed after his annual checkup. In a statement, Ford says he's in a good place spiritually and knows he's receiving the best treatment possible. Tonight, Raleigh police are in the process of issuing a silver alert for a 27-year-old man with cognitive impairments. Police say 27-year-old Jarrell Marquise Jones was last seen on Iverson Street around noon today. He was last seen wearing a burgundy hoodie, white T-shirt, and blue jeans.
Targeted when she was most vulnerable.
A local woman almost learned the hard way after posting her number on a lost pet website.
What they're doing is so hurtful and so cruel.
What scammers demanded in order for her to get her dog back. Wes.
Hey guys, we're still tracking a couple of thunderstorms tonight, but I tell you what we won't be tracking tomorrow. Excessive humidity. I'll tell you how long we'll be able to enjoy that. I'll update you on the tropical system that could impact us into next week. And one of my top 10 super sunsets of all time from halfway around the globe in just a few minutes.
He was our clown. He loved to make everybody laugh.
But first, a heartbroken Wake County mom pushing for change after her son took his own life. What every parent needs to know about reporting bullying in schools. My special report is next. School bullying. What did teachers and school administrators have to tell parents? It turns out there are no mandatory requirements in North Carolina. And now one Wake County mom is pushing for change after the death of her 12-year-old son. When Wake County mom Shannon McDonald thinks of her 12-year-old son Logan, she can't help but smile.
He was our clown. He loved to make everybody laugh.
She says he loved animals, video games, and singing.
He had gotten quite good at rapping with Eminem.
But that all changed on August 15th, 2017, just as his 7th grade year was getting underway. It was a typical morning for the family.
Mike and I were having our morning coffee and checking our emails and stuff, and Logan was down here in his room getting ready.
That's when she saw the unthinkable.
When I went around the corner, he was on the floor.
Logan had taken his own life.
As you can see, he was a ham.
Shannon says she noticed a change in Logan. He was moody and more tired than usual. Having raised 3 other boys, she remembered this stage, assuming it was typical 12-year-old boy stuff. It wasn't until after Logan's death that Shannon says she learned he was being bullied at Roseville Middle School and on the school bus. Did the school ever notify you?
No, they did not.
We did some digging and learned exactly what the policy is when it comes to bullying in the Wake County School District. The policy states employees are required to report any actual or suspected violations of this policy to a school administrator. It goes on to say students, parents, volunteers, visitors, or others are also strongly encouraged to report any actual or suspected incidents of discrimination, harassment, or bullying to a school administrator. But there is nothing that requires the school to notify parents of incidents of alleged bullying. A Wake County School District spokesperson told me in an email that the school district does indeed expect that parents are notified. However, it does not require it. It's something even one of our state lawmakers agrees needs to change. Why didn't they say anything to her?
Well, they certainly should have. I mean, certainly that is very surprising that nobody took initiative to contact the parent.
But who governs it? Who holds these?
Well, that would be up to the individual school to when they bring in the parents.
Representative Darren Jackson is on the Committee for Safer Schools, which includes the health and safety of our students.
Bullying is something that we've constantly dealt with throughout the years.
We discovered bullying laws were changed in 2009 and then again in 2012 to deal with cyberbullying. Nothing that directly addresses bullying and parental notification. 2009, 2012, that's a while ago, and there's a lot that's happened since then.
Sure. Well, I think the state could do more.
According to the Education Commission of the states, 8 states require school districts to notify parents of bullying: Connecticut, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Currently, 16 other states require schools to develop policies on parental notification. North Carolina is not one of those states. For Shannon, that's not good enough.
I think that they do need to let parents know when it's going on.
And I was able to access Logan's school records provided by his mother. There was nothing in it regarding bullying incidents. Now, I did reach out to the school district about the alleged bullying. I was told, quote, federal privacy laws prohibits us from sharing specific information about a child. If you are having suicidal thoughts, there is help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call this number, 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8255. You can also find out more information about this story on our website, cbs17.com.
Angela, thank you for sharing that story. Hopefully it can save a life. All right, con artists are scouring social media sites looking for families who lost their pets. One Youngsville woman almost learned a lesson a very hard way. Take a look at Happy. This is a basset hound who went missing over the weekend. By Monday, Patricia House has a tip from someone on the Wake Forest Community Facebook page, led her to the dog, but minutes after that reunion, get this, Howell got a text from a number she didn't recognize. The person said they had Happy, and if she didn't send $600 to a Bitcoin address, the dog would be sold or killed.
They need to find a better way to make money. They just need to leave people alone and realize that what they're doing is so hurtful and so cruel.
Howell filed a report with the Granville County Sheriff's Office. Deputies are looking into that scam. A reminder to be careful when you post your phone number, though, even if you think it's in a safe place. Now, if you've got a story you want the CBS 17 News team to look into, just call us at 919-835-NEWS or email us at newstips@cbs17.com. Glad Happy's okay.
Me too.
Well, the SPCA of Wake County got a special delivery today.
Oh, yeah. Check out these cuties. Look at that. 32 kittens arrived this afternoon from the animal shelters in Johnston and Davidson counties. Oh, look at that sweet face. Doctors are in the process of checking them out and fostering them. They should soon be up for adoption. How cute, Wes.
What are you doing putting that right before me? What am I supposed to do? And man, I hope my wife's not watching, otherwise we're gonna have a bunch of new cats in our house. We made it through another stormy day. We had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. We had some more heavy rain, and that is all that's left tonight. We're up north of the Triangle. There's the Virginia border. You guys have a few heavy downpours just south of South Hill, right along I-85. And there's a couple moving through parts of Warren and Vance County, also in western parts of Halifax County, right along I-95. So you might hear some heavy rain on your roof, but there's not much more than that. Unfortunately, our friends in the Triad had the flooding rains tonight, both in Guilford and Randolph County, and the storms we had earlier are now moving off along the coast. And for the next couple of days, we don't have a lot of rain to talk about, and we don't have a lot of humidity. But it's not going to last into the holiday weekend. So here's what I have for your Thursday. Morning will actually be a little bit cooler and a little less humid. That's worth getting up early for tomorrow. We'll see a lot more sunshine with just small chances of rain. Small chance early in the morning, and then a couple of showers maybe down to the south in the afternoon. Otherwise, our temperatures still above average for this time of year, but with lower humidity, it changes everything. 86 degrees, so it looks like a pretty good Thursday. And what I'm about to show you, one of my top 10 favorite all-time super sunset shots. And to get it, we had to go halfway around the world. Richard was on a cruise in the Gulf of Finland recently. Gulf of Finland, part of the Baltic Sea, south of the country of Finland. And I got to tell you, I mean, that's beautiful. I put it on my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook page. Sun is setting for us back here in America, by the way, on the East Coast at 8:20. So our days continue to get longer and longer. If you've got a great super sunset shot like this, doesn't have to be from around the world. It can be right here in our own backyard. Drop me an email to sendit@cbs17.com. All right, so we've got a cold front coming through. Ahead of it, it was warm, it was humid, it was stormy. Behind it, we've got high pressure drying us out mostly for the next couple of days and lowering our humidity. So that's what we'll have on Thursday and Friday. But it doesn't last forever, because as we get into the weekend, that same high pressure shifts back offshore, meaning our winds come back out of the south. There's your humidity with some daytime heating. We have the start of better rain chances. And we have something else contributing to rain chances starting Monday into early next week. An area of low pressure that might eventually become a tropical depression will throw moisture up the east coast. That, along with this high pressure, will give us better rain chances next week, and it's also going to help bring back the mugginess. But tomorrow, mostly dry, little less humid, but still warm. Temperatures about 85 or 86 down in the Sandhills, and that's where we could see that small chance of rain later in the day. Along the I-95 corridor, Roanoke Rapids down to Rocky Mount, about 84 degrees. You guys in Johnston County, about 85 or 86. Very similar to what we saw today, but with lower humidity, it's probably going to feel a little different. Mid-80s here in the Triangle, and about 84 degrees along the Virginia border. So it was really humid out today. It was steamy. Well, that mugginess is going to drop down a bit tomorrow, stay low on Friday before heading back up for the holiday weekend. And again, one of the things that can contribute to our rain chances late this holiday weekend and next week is this disorganized area of low pressure in the western Caribbean. The National Hurricane Center gives it a 70% chance of developing. And even if it doesn't develop, so whether it gets a name or not, doesn't matter for us. Either way, that moisture is going to spread up the East Coast and contribute to our rain chances. So it'll be drier the next couple of days and a little less humid, but our rain chances start to go back up Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for Memorial Day, 40, 50, and 60% chances, and we'll keep them elevated into the early part of next week. So thunderstorms and isolated flooding, something we'll have to watch out for Monday through the middle of next week, but none of that tomorrow. I mean, compared to what we've had, guys, it's going to be really nice tomorrow, and we won't have a lot of storms to keep an eye out for. So enjoy your Thursday and Friday.
I need to mow, so that's good to hear, Russ. Thank you.
All right, let's go from mowing to sports.
Let's do it. Well, tonight we finally saw one of our local teams take the field for the ACC baseball tournament. We have the update from the DBAP. Plus, Cameron Indoor Stadium was the site of a very cool event today. We'll show you how wheelchair basketball went at the Valor Games. We have those stories and more straight ahead. It was a long day and a half wait. I know for some it seemed like forever, but tonight we finally got to see one of our local teams take the field in the ACC baseball tournament, albeit a lot later than we expected. A 50-minute weather delay this afternoon pushed everything back, including Carolina's game against Pittsburgh. The Tar Heels are the top seed in the tournament, while Pitt, on the other hand, is the lowest seed. The winner of this game would earn a spot in the conference semifinals, so both squads were equally motivated. Since this game is still in progress, we cannot legally show you the highlights just yet, but we can tell you it is not unfolding like many fans thought it would. Early on, the Tar Heels sent up a few balls that looked like they would be multi-run homers, but Pitt was able to grab those at the wall and pull them back in. As things stand now, the scoreboard says 4-4, but I'm told that Pittsburgh just scored another run. It is 5-4 in the 7th. We will have highlights and reaction from that game tomorrow at 6. Now, tomorrow is also when our other local teams begin their ACC tournament action. It'll start late in the morning when Duke takes on Wake Forest. Then NC State will take the field against Virginia around 3 p.m. To pro football, where the NFL announced a new policy today that requires all players to stand during the national anthem if they're on the field at that time. Players are allowed to remain in the locker room through the anthem if they choose to. This is a response to the recent protests against social inequality that have taken place during the national anthem over the past 2 seasons. Teams could face fines if their players do not comply with this new policy. To soccer, where former Tar Heel Crystal Dunn is the reigning NWSL Player of the Week, but it was another Carolina grad who stole the show. 31st minute against Orlando, the ball bounced around inside the box until Just McDonald got a toe on it. It was one-zip courage, and head coach Paul Riley says, oh, that's nice. Let's do that again. And you know what? These women are coachable. Just McDonald sent a header way up into the clouds, and it landed on the other side of the goal line. That turned out to be the game winner. The Courage remain undefeated. They win tonight 4-3. Now to one of my favorite events that is taking place right here in the Triangle, the 6th Annual Valor Games. This is an opportunity for veterans and military members with disabilities to compete in a variety of sports. Today, wheelchair basketball was the center of attention at a very familiar place. Cameron Indoor Stadium was the site of today's action, and these athletes, well, of course, they meant business. The guys were not shy about taking a deep shot or two or working a few post moves in the paint. Wheelchair basketball is always one of the marquee events at the games. The players, well, they were very happy to put on a show for everyone in attendance.
A lot of times, you know, people sit at home without much to do. And, you know, we get out here and keep competing, you know, show everybody we still got something left.
What happens is after injury, your mind needs to be renewed to say, I can do this. And I think adaptive sport absolutely does that.
Very, very cool. More than 125 veterans with disabilities are here in town to compete in 11 different sports. The 4-day competition wraps up on Thursday. We'll be right back after this.
Awkward pause. Let's talk weather.
He doesn't like it when I just stare at him, so I do that now.
We've got a few showers. You thought I was going to give you the hand, but I was just...
Oh, right.
Couple downpours north of the Triangle. Nothing severe to worry about, but some heavy rain possible in a few areas. Otherwise, actually comfortable tomorrow morning at the bus stop. Highs back in the mid-80s.
Thanks, Wes. Have a good night.
Good night.